You're watching News X. My name is Vineet Malhotra. In the aftermath of communal clashes in Jodhpur on the occasion of Eid, about 12 FIRs have been lodged and over 100 people have been arrested. This morning, the streets of Jodhpur wore a deserted look with the imposition of a curfew by the district administration till midnight of the 4th of May. Schools were also closed for 2 days. Assuring strict action against the culprits, Chief Minister Gehlot today said, and I quote, "To ensure no violent surfaces, action will be taken," reiterating that no one has the right to take the law and order into their own hands. Mr. Gehlot launched a staunch attack against the BJP as well and said, and I quote, "They bulldoze the poor's houses. Their high command has instructed them to defame our government and create instability." On the other hand, Rajasthan BJP leaders protested against the ruling Congress at the Circuit House. As the politics over Jodhpur clashes rages on, we must not forget that the people are in fact going to be identified and those who are behind the clashes will be arrested. Let's listen into this conversation we had with Mr. Gehlot.
करौली के बाद जोधपुर में सांप्रदायिक हिंसा भड़की है और इस बार मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत के जन्मदिन पर उनके गृहनगर को निशाना बनाया गया है। क्या लगता है इसके पीछे क्या साजिश है, इसको लेकर खुद मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत से एक्सक्लूसिव बात करते हैं। सर, क्या लगता है कि बीजेपी ध्रुवीकरण की राजनीति करने के मकसद से राजस्थान को जगह जगह सुलगा रही है और इस बार जोधपुर का नंबर आया है?
देखिए, जोधपुर में कैसी शुरुआत हुई सबको मालूम है। वो तो तफ्तीश हो रही है, पुलिस जांच करेगी, मालूम पड़ेगा कि एक्चुअल में हकीकत क्या बात रही। पर जो मैंने करौली घटना के वक्त कहा था कि करौली में जो घटनाएं हुई वो एक प्रयोग इनका है, क्योंकि हमने रामनवमी आई बाद में तो राजस्थान भर में शांति रही, सद्भाव रहा, बल्कि लोगों ने फूल बरसाए विभिन्न धर्मों के लोगों ने रामनवमी जुलूस पर उसी दिन 7 राज्यों में दंगे हो गए। 7 राज्यों में उनमें वही मॉडस ऑपरेंडी थी, वही तरीका था दंगा करवाने का जो करौली में था। उससे साफ जाहिर होता है कि जो हम आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि आपका एजेंडा है कि राजस्थान में शांति सद्भाव नहीं रहे। चुनाव 18 महीने बाकी है, अभी से आप इतने घबरा गए हो, उस कारण से आप ये माहौल बना रहे हो। और हर घटना हमने दंगा कहीं नहीं होने दिया, ना जोधपुर में, ना रामगढ़ में, ना करौली के अंदर। घटनाएं हुई है, कुछ दुकानें जली करौली के अंदर, एक व्यक्ति की कोई कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुई, दंगा भड़कने नहीं दिया। उसके बाद में ये हर घटना को लंबा खींच रहे हैं बदनाम करने की सरकार को। ये इनकी एक प्रकार से जो एजेंडा इनको भारत सरकार में जो इनके मंत्री बने बैठे हैं या जो इनका पार्टी हाईकमांड है, उनके इशारों पर ये सब चल रहे हैं।
आपने जैसे ही ये दंगा भड़का और उसके
Okay, well, to talk more about this, joining me on the platform is Shalini Sharma, BJP spokesperson, Swarnim Chaturvedi, Congress spokesperson, also joins us on the program, Mr. Ved Bhushan, former ACP, Sandeep Chachra, human rights defender, is also here with us, and last but by no means the least, Mr. B. L. Vora, former DHP and internal security expert, is also joining us on the program. Mr. Swarnim Chaturvedi, I'd like to start with you. Are you there with us? Mr. Chaturvedi?
Yes, I'm there.
Mr. Chaturvedi, how prudent, how wise is it to blame the Bharatiya Janata Party for the law and order situation in a state which is ruled by the Congress Party? Law and order at the end of the day is a state subject. How can the blame game shift, to outside of the state in this situation?
Okay, what Mr. Gehlot wanted to tell is that they are working on an agenda given to them by the central leadership. In Rajasthan, this is the third incident to escalate the communal tension between these two communities, and they fail to what we say in Rajasthan is that when BJP comes into election mode, they start spreading rumors, and they have a dictum that danga bhadkao aur raj karo. So what they did in Karoli, they experimented in Karoli and they implemented it in 7 states. And they tried to implement it in Rajasthan also. This is the third incident where the communal tension escalated, and the reason behind this communal tension we found in the last 2 incidents. They were BJP leaders. They have been booked by the police. They are absconding, and right now in Jodhpur, the incident that happened, it started with the brawl between the BJP leaders and the community leaders of the Muslim community. They were organizing the namaz, and BJP leaders, even the elected BJP leaders, went there in the night of the previous night of Eid, and they indulged in clashes. So this is how the clashes between two communities happened in Jodhpur. So we are blaming BJP leaders that they want to destabilize the Rajasthan government. They want to put hurdles in work of Rajasthan government that we are doing. They have failed. They have just failed to play the role of opposition in Rajasthan, and they are कहना चाहिए कि सारे चुनाव हार गए जब उसके बाद उनके एक ही सहारा मिला.
So what you're saying, Mr. Chaturvedi, what you're saying is that this is a conspiracy at the behest of the Bharatiya Janata Party to create some sort of an instability in Rajasthan. Shalini Sharma, I want you to come in on that.
Vineet, I just heard what he said. And the thing is, this is not a political issue. First, they are making it political. It is only a one-party issue. Now tell me, they vandalized the statue of a freedom fighter. They put black color tape on that statue. They removed the saffron flag, which was only one saffron flag was there as a testament. They put another flag, and then they remove all the loudspeakers. They start hitting people. They stab a boy. Now you tell me, Vineet, what kind of role is the government doing? What kind of role is the police playing when they have stabbed a person, when they have already stabbed a small girl, 3-year-old girl?
Kindly requesting other panelists to please don't talk or mute themselves. Please mute yourself if you're going to be speaking. When the other person is also speaking, please don't do that. I request you to. Very unprofessional. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The thing is, what we want is government to take stern steps against this. This place, Jodhpur, is Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot's native place. If something like this is happening in his own backyard, what is he going to look after the state? Ashok Gehlot ji has an important portfolio of Home Ministry. He has police directly under him. What were the cops doing? Isn't it, Vineet, you tell me, isn't it a situation where law and order has completely failed? Isn't Ashok Gehlot responsible for this? And he is in Udaipur right now. He is in Udaipur. They are doing Chintan Shivir. Congress needs to do Chintan Shivir. They have nothing but Chinta in their life. Their so-called political leader, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, parties around in Kathmandu. He does not know what is happening. He knows everything what is happening otherwhere, but he does not know what is happening in Rajasthan.
Okay.
Where Congress government is there. So tell me, Vineet, is it right or is it wrong? How can they pinpoint that it is a political issue? It is not a political issue. They have made it a political issue.
Let me get a response from Mr. Chaturvedi on that. Shalini ji, let me get a response. Mr. Chaturvedi, similar things are happening in Maharashtra as well. It's happening in Rajasthan. It happened in Kasauli as well. Is it just, politics of convenience that you blame it on the opposition and not do your job diligently when it comes to the state's law and order situation?
They have double standards, Vineet.
Mr. Chaturvedi?
Vineet, this is Ashok Gehlot's government that has never taken up...
Please, Mr. Chaturvedi, can you please put your mic closer to your mouth? Our viewers and I am not able to hear you properly.
Am I audible now?
Yes, better.
Yeah. Vineet, I just want to tell you one thing. This is Ashok Gehlot's government and the governance of the Congress government that we have averted a big danga which could have happened in 3 districts of Rajasthan. This is what we have done. And the incident in Jodhpur, it happened. Why? Because BJP leaders, elected BJP leaders with her followers ran to a site at night and they vandalized the loudspeakers and they vandalized the flags of Muslim communities. Why they went there? Who asked them to go there? Who are they to vandalize the loudspeakers when they have been put on after taking the due permission? So this incident happened on behest of Bharatiya Janata Party. They are responsible for this incident and
okay, those are not verifiable facts. Mr. Chaturvedi, those are not verifiable facts. Let me also rope in Mr. B.L. Vora, former DHP and internal security expert. Mr. B.L. Vora, are you able to hear me, sir? Mr. Vora, if you're there with us. Mr. Vora, please unmute yourself.
Yes, I can hear you, Vineet.
Mr. Vora, what do you make of what's happened in Jodhpur? You know, apart from all the political bickering that you see, you know, this is also becoming some sort of a security alarm that is supposed to be put into place, you know, in major areas of the country which have populations from either community.
Politicians will always play politics and they will always find fault with each other, blame each other. Now, all these incidents throughout the country, they are planned either by one group or the other. And who's behind it? Naturally, the politicians who give them all the energy to do it. But the main issue is that it is the responsibility of the administration, of the state government, and basically the police to see, number one, nothing untoward happens. Number two, if it happens, it's brought immediately under control. And three, those who have done it should be brought to book. Here, unfortunately, the problem is that police now in our country has become like private armies of the political parties in power. Police no longer acts impartially. They act under the orders of the state government.
Correct.
And for that, again, unless there are police reforms, unless police is taken out of the control of political parties and politicians, these things will continue to happen. In different states, there are different political parties in power, and you can see that police is behaving differently against other parties who are not in power. Look at countries like UK, for example, where Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, was called to the police station to be interrogated on the party gate. Or in countries like Korea, you have Israel. I mean, you have such a large number of countries. Now here, but one credit I must give to the police that because of the police commissioner system, at least not much violence was there. Because, you know, this administrative complications are also there. So unless police is given free hand, these things, let me tell you, they will continue. They have been continuing in all states, and now as soon as the elections come, naturally the pitch goes up. Now you're seeing in Maharashtra also what is happening. In Bengal also things are not good. So I think it's a failure of everybody. It's failure of the communities, leaders of the communities, the administrators, the police, and the politicians, definitely. Absolutely. I think interest of the country should be above, peace should be above everything else. And both communities must respect, and they have been respecting and loving each other. But now the seeds of poison are being sowed, and not only that, they are being watered so that they blossom into big trees. It is so unfortunate.
Absolutely. Sandeep Chacha, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Please.
Sandeep, even the UN hasn't shied away from making an observation as to what happened in Jodhpur. You know, they are calling it sporadic, but yet at the same time, an orchestrated and organized way of disruption between two communities. How do you look at this, and can this spiral out of control? Because this is something which is becoming very, very frequent now from several certain parts of the countries.
Thank you, Vineet. First of all, strong words to condemn what happened. And this was on the venue and near the statue of a freedom fighter, a Gandhian freedom fighter, who incidentally went on hunger strike and lost his life protesting against the British atrocities in the jails of India, in the prisons of India. And it is so tragic. Swords, knives were flashed around. Flags with religious ascriptions and symbolisms, whether it's the saffron or whether it's the Eid flags, were shown. What is that? What is that space? That is the space of the national flag. These were openly flouted and shown around. There are two aspects to this debate. The one aspect is, which we have been talking about, who done it. I think, as the previous speaker, Mr. B.L. Vora, was saying, this is the responsibility of our administration, our police, and our criminal justice and law enforcement agencies. And to that aspect, I don't think this is the space to debate on who done it. A fair, transparent, faith-inspiring, and fast judgment and fast investigation needs to be done, and criminals not need to be brought to the book. So that's what I want to say. Now the other question is why done it? Now that's very, very clear. The previous speaker also spoke to it as to why done it. Vineet, I think this is a great space to reflect and what therefore do we learn and what needs to be done for future. Our history and tragically our present is replete, as you rightly noted, and growing of such instances of playing on the various divisions. So such violence, such conflicts are an outcome of various fractures that existed in our society, are existing in our societies, and are being watered in our societies. And that's something we need to do away with. We need to move away from in order to build a faith-inspiring, just, egalitarian, coexistential, and syncretic traditions that we have. Our history, ironically and wonderfully, is also replete with efforts of citizens, social reformers, saints, of ordinary people to build such synthetic traditions. Then that's what we need to do. Sufi and Bhakti traditions, for instance, long years ago and continue to inspire. How do we build societies which are together, which work together, which live peacefully, which live in harmony, which build a society which inspires for its younger generation? I'm sad that's not happening. So I think that is what we need to water. We certainly need to move away from the prisons we have been in. And we need to break those chains. We need to move away into the hopes of future, of what we wish to see, of the kind of society we wish to see for our young people, for children who are growing up, for people like us. And I think in that regard, we need a lot more needs to be done to nurture these tendencies. And these tendencies are not completely unknown in our society. They are existing in our society. So the point is, what do you build on and what do you defeat? The world today needs it. This is not just India that we are talking about. The world is overcome with hate, with whether it's race, whether it's religion, whether it's ethnicity, whether it's gender, whether it's the diversity. So the defense of diversities. And we are probably looking at a specter where we have majoritarian states, where we have the dangers of prisons, of politicization of religion. We need to avert away from those in order to inspire a beautiful future for all of us. And I think that's what we need to be discussing and reflecting more on, rather than getting into a process of whodunit here, because this is not a media trial. And I think in this regard, what's really important is what has been said. Let the investigations be done. Let they be fair, impartial. Let the police have the power to do it, which inspires faith of all of us. And it's not just one state. It's not just the states ruled by the opposition or ruled by the party in power. It's across. And
Absolutely.
I think that is where the dangers, the ugly head of such divisive tendencies must be nipped in the bud. And that is what the world needs India to show, because that is where our leadership could be.
I completely concur with you, Sandeep. In fact, the Prime Minister is in Europe as we speak. There is an image that he's trying to portray, and what's happening in these states, Mr. Ved Bhushan, if you can hear me, sir.
Yeah, Vinitji.
What's happening in these states is a complete opposite of what India stands for. But this is something which is a growing concern. Before something can actually be investigated upon, like Sandeep also pointed out, there is a media trial, there is a political trial by parties against or for each other. It's a very, very dangerous precedent. How do we get out of this?
विनीत जी, वो कहते हैं दूध का जला छाछ को भी फूंक मार मार कर पीता है। करौली हुआ, आपने कर्फ्यू लगाया, नेटवर्क जाम किया। अलवर हुआ, आपने एसडीएम साहब को ट्रांसफर कर दिया, सस्पेंड कर दिया, ऑफिसर्स को ट्रांसफर कर दिया, सारी चीजें आपने कर ली। सब चीजें आपके सामने थी, पुलिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आपके हाथ में था। राजस्थान पुलिस वाज मिजरेबली फेल्ड। बोरा साहब बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे थे, सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट उनके पास अवेलेबल थे। वो नाइट में जब एक इंसिडेंट हो चुका था तो देयर वर लॉट ऑफ फोर्स देयर, सेंट्रल फोर्सेस जा सकती थी, आप प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन ले सकते थे, जो अब आप ले रहे हैं। पुलिस के अंदर प्रोसीजर है, ऐसे मौकों पर जो हिस्ट्री शीटर्स हैं, जिनको बीसी बोला जाता है, दे कैन बी डिटेन्ड, पुलिस उनको डिटेन कर लेती है पुलिस स्टेशन के, और बड़ी लार्ज स्केल पर डिटेंशन की जरूरत थी। आपने कोई प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन नहीं लिया। वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, जितनी भी एफआईआर अभी तक राजस्थान पुलिस ने करी है, बड़े दुख के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है, नॉट ए सिंगल पर्सन वाज डिटेन्ड अंडर एनएसए, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एक्ट। दिल्ली में जहांगीरपुरी के अंदर हुआ, यस एग्री हुआ, पर जो भी थे उनको एक ऐसा मैसेज गया, दे वर डिटेन्ड NSA विदाउट कास्ट एंड क्रीड। पर ये दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि जिस तरह से वहां पर इंटेलिजेंस थी और पुलिस तमाम स्टेट उनके अंडर में था, डेस्पाइट इट वहां सब कुछ होने दिया गया, बल्कि इंटेंशनली अवॉइड किया या मेरे निगाह में आंख फेर ली गई। पुलिस हर तरह से कॉम्पिटेंट थी, पुलिस की जो लीडरशिप है वो कॉम्पिटेंट है, परंतु अभी वोरा साहब ने बिल्कुल एक क्लियर मैसेज दिया कि ऑल पॉलिटिशियन वेदर रिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ बीजेपी, कांग्रेस, आम आदमी पार्टी, तृणमूल, they are using police as an instrument। पुलिस को केवल राजस्थान में एज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज किया गया। बिल्कुल एक क्लियर एक मैसेज आता है कि दे आर नॉट अबाउट कंसर्न अबाउट द पुलिसमैन इंजर्ड, दे आर नॉट कंसर्न अबाउट द पब्लिक, दे हैव देयर ओन गोल्स। दे केवल उनको अपना जीत और हार से मतलब है, इसके अलावा उनका कोई पर्पज नहीं। वेदर दे आर सिटिंग ऑन रूलिंग पार्टी, वेदर मिस्टर गहलोत और वेदर द अदर एस्पायरिंग कैंडिडेट्स हु आर ट्राइंग टू ओवरपावर देयर, तो इट्स ए देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग। बिल्कुल एक क्लियर स्पष्ट हो चुका है कि जो भी वहां हुआ वो पुलिस की एक बहुत भारी नेग्लिजेंस थी, शेयर नेग्लिजेंस थी, और पुलिस को इसकी जिम्मेदारी लेनी चाहिए। कम से कम अब आप पोस्ट राइट्स के बाद में कुछ ऐसा एक्शन ले, एक मैसेज जाए सोसाइटी के अंदर, अक्रॉस राजस्थान, अक्रॉस इंडिया एक मैसेज जाए कि इफ यू विल डू सच थिंग अगेन देयर विल बी ए हैवी पनिशमेंट। आपको ऐसा पनिशमेंट मिलेगा जो एग्जेम्पलरी पनिशमेंट होगा, एग्जेम्पलरी आपको सजा दी जाएंगी, FIR दर्ज की जाएंगी, जिससे कि एक मैसेज जाए और दोबारा इस तरह का इंसिडेंट राजस्थान में ना हो सके, किसी की हिम्मत ना हो सके। परंतु दुर्भाग्य से अभी तक कोई ऐसा मैसेज अभी मीडिया के थ्रू या सामने दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है।
ऐसा कोई कदम नहीं उठाया गया। स्वर्णिम चतुर्वेदी, योर गवर्नमेंट इन राजस्थान हैज आल्सो बीन अक्यूज्ड of appeasement, and it's not only in Rajasthan. Well, the opposition has accused you of appeasement for decades now, but per se in this scenario you are being accused of appeasement. How do you respond to that, Mr. Chaturvedi?
Let me clarify one thing.
Please keep your mic closer to your mouth, Mr. Chaturvedi. We'll be able to hear you better.
Okay, let me clarify one thing. First, I should answer Mr. Ved Prakash. I was hearing he accused police of not doing anything. It was the police action and timely action that has averted a big danga which could have happened. Can you imagine? More than 3 lakh people were on roads for the Eid and for the procession of Parshuram Jayanti, Akha Teej. So both the communities, a large number were on roads in large numbers. So what could have happened? He must have some imagination. And I wish that what action Delhi police has taken must have given a message across the India, so we can wish, or we can wish hopefully that no such incident like Jangirpuri will happen again in Delhi or in India, if we have to believe him. So don't blame police. Police has done their duty. They are doing duty round the clock. They are on the roads for the last 24 hours. They have maintained peace. They have taken situation under control. And what I have told,
I am not blaming police. I am talking about political bosses.
Ved Prakash,
I am not. I am not against police. I am against political bosses. I am against political bosses who are interfering with the police, who are playing with the police, rather playing with the police. Vineet, they are playing with the police. Police is not an instrument. Police is a disciplined force. Police.
What you are saying is that what you have done must have given a strong message across the India. So why these incidents are happening?
Okay.
This is Rajasthan. This is timely.
Shalini Sharma, is the police to be blamed for that? You know, the response of the police in such scenarios can never be judged holistically. You cannot say they did their job and they did not do their job, because sometimes it's really quick, it's really fast for even the police to get at certain places. You can't blame the police unless you have an exact knowledge of the extent of the damage that has been caused because of these disturbances.
Vineet, I heard our able panelists, and I understand what they're saying. Rajasthan government, Congress government is following the policy of appeasement. But remember, appeasement begets abatement first. Second, we have just come out of Corona. Now again they want only 2 things. Dhara 144 laga do ya curfew kar do. That means again schools are shut, colleges are shut, people are again back in their houses. What kind of development is this? There is no safety, there is no law and order. Third, I feel the government should send a proper delegation. They should send the governor, honorable governor, and a strict action should be taken place. The police, yes, if you say police has done something or not done something, where was the rapid action force? This happened at night also. This shows intelligence failure, Vineet. What was the intelligence doing? They had no idea Akkha Teej is the most auspicious day. People were supposed to come out, buy things, do so many things. Marriages were supposed to take place. They have gone down under curfew. Now in India, if you remember some time back, Ukraine-Russia war is still on. We, through Operation Ganga, got all our people back from Ukraine safe and sound. Isn't this the responsibility of the state government to look after its people over here? And what kind of dhara they have imposed today? I'm sorry to say that. What kind of act they have put? 151. 151 से क्या होता है? A boy was stabbed. A boy was stabbed on his back. Yesterday he was operated. A small girl who was in standard 3 was also hurt. And what kind of action you are taking? 151. What FIRs have you done? Nothing. Why? Because this is policy of appeasement. Because you want to cover and guard one particular sect of people. Why? We all are Indians. We all have the right. If Eid is there, we should not forget there was Parshuram Jayanti. How could we forget that there was Akkha Teej? What is the government doing? And why didn't he go to Jodhpur, which is his native city? Why is he in Udaipur? Why is he doing that Chintan Shivir? So it means that police are just...
All right, so Shalini ji, a lot of questions to ask, a lot of questions remain as well, but definitely one thing is for certain, that when it comes to these disturbances between communities, the law and order situation and the law and order readiness has to be at its optimum best. And if anything goes wrong, it's the state's fault. Politicizing an issue because of your own failures is something which is a hit below the belt. Thank you everyone for being a part of this wonderful conversation.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.